Welcome to Wanna Bet, the daily gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now.
So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Subject custom kere konso baba konso felino. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Let's get it started. I am Jason. That is Ben. This is Wanna Bet. And we do this every day, 7 days a week. We give you our favorite plays in this moment. We've got a rundown. I ripped it off from my buddies Tony and Mike at PTI. First, second, third down are three favorite plays we made since yesterday's show. There pretty much always is a yesterday show. Fourth and long is really fourth and whatever. Could be a long-term bet or a long shot bet to get you paid down the road. It could be fourth and short, a quick hitter to get you paid quickly tonight without having to sit through the entire game to do so. We don't force it. We take it where we see it. Overtime, every day, we give you a football parlay because why would we not? Back in the day, we had a bunch of other things we did on overtime. Maybe at some point, we'll get Trender Ben back. Maybe at some point, we'll get Dog of the Day back. I do know this, Beltway Ben. We got those new sexy bibs, our custom bibs. We always show you guys our work. We're fully transparent here, unlike the mooks and the bullshitters who just want to make money for the books. Beltway Ben, we had a 3 lobster night on Monday. I feel like me sweeping the board in soccer and you sweeping the board in baseball is another 3 lobster night, double fisting plus one in the mouth. But you tell me, is it bib worthy? I feel like what we did again yesterday is bib worthy, but it's an executive decision. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's fair to
putting on the
say,
bibs.
again,
The
it's
Hanson
fair.
brothers back in the day were putting on the foil. We're putting on the bibs. I don't know if this is going to mess with my microphone or not, but you know, when you're eating like that, you don't want to get the food all over your suit. You know,
Right.
if you're the Ravens general manager and you dress up in cosplay for home prime time game, you don't want to get that stuff on your sunglasses at night in your suit. Beltway Ben, we're bibbed up. Show the people how it went on yesterday's show. There you go, guys. My guy, Matteo Retegui, he was good for 2 goals for Italy. They do the job 3-0 on a broken Israel team. We hit the same game parlay on Italy for minus 110, and we hit the Italy -2 to cover for plus 130. Hat trick, Harry Kane. Will we be back on him with Bayern Munich this weekend? Yeah, we already are. If you're in the Super Discord, you got a bunch of plays in there on Bayern Munich. We're destroying soccer markets right now. And yeah, we hit the England plus 110. We also hit England -2. Turkey on the money line. They won 4-1. Italy -1. The plus 300 3-leg parlay in World Cup qualifying. Yeah, we smashed that too. We just keep crushing soccer. And Beltway Ben, I believe, look, I did chase the plus money on the Brewers. I thought it would be their last stand. Quinny P, my sweet prince, I bid you adieu until next March. My brew crew are cooked. Beltway Ben, you crushed baseball last night.
Yeah, betting against the Brewers, we had Yamamoto over 16.5 outs. To give up a home run on your first pitch and do what he did is pretty damn impressive. In today's day and age, too, with pitches and how guys work, letting him go out, and he wanted it. Like, you could see him in the dugout, and I'm like, I thought 5-1 was enough. Again, that bullpen is crazy. I thought they might pull him. They send him back out. He goes 3 up, 3 down. Everything was moving like I thought it would be. I talked about the splitter. That was giving them issues 1 through 9. And he was just awesome. I think they're in a good spot. We're also in a good spot for our 1.5. We've had a lot of success. Actually, I think we have yet to lose a bet against the Brewers in the playoffs. Yeah, Shohei Ohtani cashed us as well. Was a little sweaty. Mashed the ball to right field, 109 off the bat. They caught it early in the game. I thought that was going to be the one that screws us. I thought the ball was going to get down. They made a nice play in right field. But he comes up and turns on one, and it got through. It's all it needed to do in that spot. He did his job. So he was able to come through for us to put us up 2 units.
The drive for 60 units, unprecedented territory. Part of me is like, you shouldn't talk about it. But other part of me is like, you got to speak it into existence. And We got to get there, Beltway Ben, and then we got to keep stacking wins. All our picks, as I mentioned, in real time on the Super Discord. And yeah, Beltway Ben, as always, has the honors on first down. Before we get there, though, I did just want a bid adieu to my sweet prince, Quinny P. Quinny P! Quinny P! Next spring, you're going to cash for me. My plus 175 on the Brewers. Don't think it's going to hit. They are not frauds. They overachieved. And you know what? If I'm going to have to watch them go down, Beltway Ben, I got a Tobias Myers sighting. So if I'm going to have to watch them
left it alone, I was going to text you.
Game, my guy saw him pitch as an 18-year-old at Aberdeen. Said, why are you trading this kid for Beckham? Tobias Myers in the playoffs where he belongs. Yeah.
I was going to text you. I'm not going to talk Brewers, Dodgers until the series is over. I'll wait. And again, I just 4-0 sweet.
Quinny P and Freddie P, they help pay for these bibs that you're wearing.
Hey,
they help pay for Locking for LLC to have the surplus, right?
I'm just saying, I did not think that this lineup was built to win a World Series and push back a lot.
Quinny P, Hall of Famer. You can't take that away.
The lineup has struggled mightily.
It's not looking good.
And Yelich, the one guy that you do pay has to come through. He has been.
I came this close to putting a $50 free bet on Chourio home run. Then I couldn't decide between Chourio and Bowers, and then I just decided to put it on the Nerfy instead. And who effed my Nerfy? How about that? Is betting in a nutshell. Who effed the Nerfy?
Yeah.
Chourio.
Yeah.
That's why it's gambling, folks.
That is absolutely betting.
That is freaking it in a nutshell, brother.
Yeah, that was after that, I'm like, all right, the crowd's going to be into it. And Yamamoto, like, again, I don't want to continue talking about it, but Yamamoto just settling. And again, he was out there. People could have signed him. It's just like, God, the Dodgers, of course. But Yamamoto's a damn stud, and so is Snell. Here, though, we are going to go to the NFL. We're going to go to an early game. Travis Etienne over 56.5 rushing yards, minus 110. Watching the Ravens game and the situation, and I know the Rams, they definitely handled it different. I think the Rams could have ran it up if they wanted to a little bit more. There were things here and there, but the run defense was concerning. I mean, in a game where Derrick Henry is going to get the football against a bad offensive line, the Jags offensive line is a lot better than the Ravens, and you have a guy in Etienne who the backs behind him are banged up. Like, he hasn't been, and throughout the years we've talked about, like, is he really a running back one? Are we going to start to filter him out for a new guy? With these guys banged up, I'm fine with this. I think he gets 13 to 16 carries, and we need him to average something he's averaged all year. We've seen him get 100 plus in 2 games this year. I'm not saying he's going to run all over them like that, but to get this number, it was 60.5 at some spots. I was able to find it at 56.5. To me, maybe it's close, but I think he finishes with 57 or more rushing yards in this game. Trevor Lawrence, we already saw, and we could see him fall to the ground with nobody in his face and get up and score a touchdown, whatever the hell that was. But Cohn has to keep him safe, has to keep their offense safe because you don't want him chucking the ball to the other team as he has before. And this is a guy who, in this situation, against a good pass rush with what's going on, I think they could go heavy run here, try to take some clock. Matthew Stafford in that offense passing game is not going to be as bad as it was against the Ravens. You're not going to have that weather. You're not going to have that wind. Guys are going to catch the football. It's going to be a different situation. So the Jags are going to have to approach this the right way. And if you watch what the Ravens did on that first drive, I think and it's a different back. Etienne and Derrick Henry, 2 completely different backs. I get that. But he was, breaking off 5, 10, 5, 10 regularly. And I think that you can do it with a quick back like Etienne.
I really would want to, I'm not going to go to this well because I've been burned twice on it. But I really want to go to the carries because Lawrence was sacked 7 times.
I was looking at that too.
And this Rams defense is legit, and they ripped the shit out of a bad offensive line last week. And I think the Jags offensive line is starting to regress. But I'm staying out of it. But if you're so inclined, I do feel like Cohen's got to, as much as Lawrence isn't very good, he's all they got for now. And they got to keep him upright. First down for me, I told you I'm not going to have a ton Thursday night. For this value, the guy's done it 4 straight games. It's a short week, not a lot of practice time. You keep the main thing. How have number 1 receivers done against Cincinnati, who's allowed 13 passing touchdowns already? Well, Amon-Ra St. Brown went off. Justin Jefferson pretty much went off. Cortland Sutton had a nice game. Could they double him? Sure. I think the Steelers are going to run a lot of 12 personnel and try to get different mixes and matches of defense on the field. It seems to me that Golden is trying to save his job by run blitzing and not letting them not be so pathetic against the run. Cincinnati also leads the league in missed tackles, and Metcalf can run by you or he can run through you. And I just think it's a bad secondary, and he's the guy that clearly Aaron Rodgers likes throwing to the most. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't really care what Arthur Smith calls. He's going to do what he wants to do. So I just see value there for a guy who's become the number one option in a passing game. The road to scoring on the Bengals is through the air for the most part. They have allowed 4 passing touchdowns to running backs already this year. I just have a trouble deciding, is it Warren, is it Gainwell, blah, 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 blah. But I do think Metcalf's going to get opportunities in the red zone. He is the number one guy, and he can score from outside the red zone as well against a bad defense. Second down, Ben.
Yes, second down. We are going to go to the baseball game tonight, and it's just a play like when I was kicking through things, we had 2 plays last night for the MLB, and looking through, I kind of like this. The numbers don't fully go there, and especially when you have taking hitters in this park, which we'll get to in a little bit, it's tough. It's really tough. But I think Kirk can come through for this lineup, and they need him to. Over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, plus 105. He's had some success against Kirby in his career. And he also, the way he hits, right, turning on that inside sinker, turning on the ball. The righties can hit the ball out here. That's about it. I mean, you don't see much else. But righties can hit the ball out here. We saw it with Polanco twice against Skubal. And when you watch how he pitches him in, this is like a different guy. The dude is just like a little bowling ball who sits in there and takes hacks. Now, will they get a runner on for him at some point? I'd expect so. This is a lineup that's been fine. I do lean the under, but this is a lineup that's been fine. And I think that Kirk will come through with a guy on base. They need him to. He's done it, right? He's hitting, I think, a little over 250 in the playoffs, but he's done it. And there's a guy, what is he going to hit? 5, 6, somewhere around that range. You have to imagine this lineup will get some guys on. They're going to be aggressive. They're probably going to steal some bases. They got to generate some traffic. And they're on the ropes. Like, this is a veteran. This guy's been there a long damn time. With them on the ropes, you have to expect him to come through. And again, he is not a home run. Like, it's not, we're not taking a Giancarlo Stanton where if he doesn't hit the home run, we're screwed. Kirk is base hit. He can hit the home run. He can hit the extra base hit. He's not fast, so a walk doesn't do too much for us. We're not getting a stolen base, but he does come through with runners in scoring position. Had a lot of success with that all year, and he can drive the extra base hit. So I like him over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs.
So you're one game ahead of me. I'm going to be on that game in third down. You were on the Rams game in first down. I'm on the Rams game in second down. Look, McVay's the better coach. McVay has a top 3 quarterback, and Liam Cohen, his understudy, has a bottom 10 quarterback. You can run the numbers on the Jags International. They're basically a wash. They're basically a 500 team. McVay kept his team practicing in Baltimore all week, so their body clocks are going to be essentially the same as Jacksonville, so it mitigates the extreme travel of coming all the way from the West Coast to London. The Rams keep playing with their food, and they won't do that forever, but even if they do that here, I just need them to win the game, not cover. I would point out the Rams are tied for the number 1 cover team in the NFL since the start of last year. They're like, 12-5? Or what is it? I'll just look it up. I got it right here. Yeah, 12-5 in their last 17 games. So that's tied for best in the NFL. They've got the better defense. Their kicker scares the hell out of me. I will concede that. But is Jacksonville going to turn them over? They turned it over 3 times last week. Are they going to turn it over 3 times again? Because Jacksonville's defense is really predicated on the turnovers. Let me tell you this about the LA Rams. They're the only team in the NFL that is in the top 3 in yards allowed per play on defense, and top 3 in yards generated per play on offense. Puka's injury gives me a little bit of pause, but again, I just need this to be a lower scoring game, under 55. We're taking it way up. And I need the Rams to be 1 point better than a Jags team that the O-line is starting to regress. The defense, it's a great hotshot defensive coordinator. It's the same guys who were the worst defense in the AFC last year. And now there's no Devin Lloyd, who's really made that whole linebacking core go, and who's been a big part of that feast or famine defense that's turned people over more than anybody in the NFL. McVay, when he gets a lead, though, does tend to play it conservatively. He likes to get both running backs involved. That leans me to the under here. So for plus money, that's where I'm at on that game. Third down, Ben.
Yes, third down. We are going to go to Shane Bieber over 4.5 strikeouts at -130. I think this is just too low of a line given the situation. Now, the one thing that does scare me here, Schneider with his bullpen antics and how quickly he has that hook. that has not helped him a ton. Like you keep doing it. He pulls you Savage, and you bring in Varland, immediately home run. I mean, every big name hitter in the playoffs has taken Varland yard, and we've seen it regularly. I don't think you want to be too aggressive with Bieber, a guy who in his 4 playoff starts has had some success. He's over this in 3 of those 4, and he has 21 Ks against Seattle in his last 3 starts against them. I'm not saying that they're going to win this game. I'm not saying he's going to completely shut this lineup down. But when you look at how Seattle has done against right-handed pitching of late, it's a lot of swing and miss. There's a lot of power there too. There's home runs, the long ball, they're driving the long ball, but they've struggled with strikeouts. Shane Bieber, up and down this year, right? You've seen some outings where he has 2 Ks. We've also seen some where he has a lot. The way that the Seattle offense works and how they're driving the ball and hitting a lot of long balls, I think that we might get some strikeouts. They're swinging hard. They're trying to do damage. And in this park, I think Bieber's going to pitch a little bit confidently. We've seen through his career when he faces good teams and good lineups. I know he struggled against the Yankees, but when he faces good lineups, he's always been better. He's always overachieved. He's a little bit of a dog. So Schneider, that's the only thing that scares me. Schneider pulling it. But as I said, you pull you Savage, you send out Varland. How did that work for you? I think they let Bieber go a little bit in this one. If we can get 5 innings from him, I'm confident we cash this.
Beltway Ben, I think we may get sweeps in the ALCS and NLCS. And I like the Mariners, who have one of the best home field advantages in baseball, who have the better starter going. They've got the better bullpen. They've got the better skipper. They've got the better lineup. They've got momentum. This is a brutally tough park to hit in. They do it better than anybody else. And Kirby is almost unhittable at times in this ballpark. I just don't think this is being priced accordingly. I think the middle innings could get real tricky for Toronto. I think Toronto not having Bichette has really caught up to them. There's some guys like Polanco who's seen a lot of Bieber over the years from his time in Minnesota. You know, when Bieber was in Cleveland, I like his numbers against him. I think Suarez is a guy to watch as well who might do some damage against him. Even Crawford at the bottom of the lineup, not the hugest sample size. I think it's like 13 plate appearances. But, man, he gets on at the bottom of the lineup, and then you've got guys like Julio and Big Dumper. I'm just buying Seattle. Yes, I know that there'll be a lot of Blue Jays fans there. Like, I've been in Seattle, believe it or not, at times when the Blue Jays are in town and everybody comes over from Vancouver. But, like, that's not enough to move me. They just check too many boxes for me. And I think Toronto's starting to feel that they've been overachieving. And Toronto knows the Yankees, and they owned the Yankees in the regular season. And the Yankees couldn't win in the division, even against the Orioles, the way you would think they could. A lot of travel involved here now. I think the Blue Jays blew their chance to make this a series. And this one could get lopsided. Like, if you told me this one got to like 8-3 again or something like that, I wouldn't be shocked. 4th and whatever, Ben.
Yeah, we're going to go with the thing that I've told myself not to do. And just because of the situation, how things have gone. The Nerfy here. We were
got me last night.
Yeah. It's so weird how it happens. Like solo shots, like 2-out singles that turn into a pass ball, that turn into a ground ball that's 87 off the bat that gets through. But I like the Blue Jays and Mariners Nerfy tonight. When you look at what Kirby's done at home, 12-1 to the Nerfy, he's been pretty damn dominant, and I don't know that they jump on him early. Now, Kirk, hopefully hitting 6. Hopefully we get some stuff in the second inning. But the first inning, I don't think we'll have to worry about it. I think he goes 1, 2, 3 at home. That crowd's going to be feisty. You talked about it before. I think they're going to be a little bit into it and getting going. And then the other side, Bieber, like, I really trust him. And he hasn't had a lot of, like, it's not a large sample size, 4-2 to the Nerfy. But this is a spot where you have to trust your vet. He has to go out and be good early on. And when you look at what they've done, it's a lot of home runs. If the ball's not flying well, as it usually doesn't there, he could go 3 up, 3 down in the first inning as well. Now, we don't need that. We just need a Nerfy. And it's a little misvalued given all of the offense we've seen this series. But throughout most of the year, Seattle has been very, very good to Nerfies. And I think that'll continue tonight. I think their damage will be done second or third time through the order and not the first. So I do like a Nerfy here at -140.
Excellent. I'm rooting it on. I don't want to get on it because I think I would be bad luck, but I would love to see a Nerfy. I might get on that for like $25 or something, but I'm not going to squash it here. 4th and long for me. I like the Blazers to get to 40 wins. I think the Blazers are a play-in team. My 2 favorite teams to bet in the NBA last year was Memphis in the first half of the season and the Blazers after the All-Star break. And the Blazers played everybody tough after the All-Star break, and the Blazers went 13-14 down the stretch. Denny Ambia has got length. He's got extreme rebounding ability. He's a good distributor. Like, he's become a really useful winning basketball player. I like their backcourt a lot. I like their toughness. Everything you read and hear about the Chinese big man they drafted is that could be really interesting. They're a tough team to play against. They're a throwback team. They throw multiple bigs at you. Like, nobody likes going to Portland. They've got a true – to me, you know what Portland is to me? Portland to me is like Orlando. Like, they play an ugly style. They want to beat you 95-92. They're willing to beat you up and trade fouls. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be sexy. It's a smaller sort of market. The people are really into it. It's got a little bit of that college vibe. They're really hard to beat at home. And I think they gained a lot of confidence in what they did last year. Dame Lillard just being there to root him on and being a part of it for camaraderie as he comes back from the Achilles, I'm buying it. They're also out of the tank zone. Like, they're trying to win. They want to get some home playoff games. Like, they showed me they could compete in an ugly way. I know the West is tough, a lot tougher than the East, but I'm buying them. I'm buying what I saw down the stretch last year. Do I wish they had another pure shooter? I do. Will they address that at some point around down the line? I think hopefully they do. But I just don't think there's a lot of teams in this league where everybody wants to run and gun that want to go into Portland and you know, try to win a game in the high 80s, low 90s. So I'm buying it. I'm buying their style. I think they coalesced around the coach last year. And I think that's a price that almost 3-1 for a team that was on this pace after the All-Star break last year. Again, we don't even need them to be 500. Would it shock me entirely if they were a playoff team and not a play-in team? It wouldn't. Overtime, Beltway, Ben.
Yeah, we're just going to do a simple college football parlay. Well, not that simple because we have a bunch of different legs in here. But East Carolina will start tomorrow night. East Carolina on the money line. They're playing a Tulsa team who's one of the worst defenses in the FBS. Awful. Don't trust them at all. I like East Carolina to win. Georgia on the money line against Ole Miss. Georgia got a little lucky against Auburn. A bad call changed that game. But I do think they'll beat Ole Miss, which has overachieved. And they've been on the ropes a little bit, especially last week. That was hideous. And then their quarterback situation, right? Chambliss, it's a fun story. I don't know that Simmons is back. He's banged up. Whatever it is, I think Georgia's defense is going to get after it. And the offense, I trust enough. USC plus 21.5. Nobody's rooting for Notre Dame down the stretch more than me because I have a pretty penny on Notre Dame to make the playoffs, which we got a few weeks ago. We gave it out on here. But I think I might take it up to 10.5 and take USC plus 10.5 as it is. Like, Notre Dame's defense, it's figuring itself out, but are they going to really beat them that bad? I think USC is better than Vegas thinks, and I've felt that for a few weeks now. But I do think they cover 21.5. 3 touchdowns if they lose by more than that, and we lose a plus 241 parlay. I can't be too mad at myself. And then Utah versus BYU. Utah's legit. Utah is the real deal. BYU, I respect their coach. Sataki, what he's done is good, but BYU, Vegas they like tempt you with BYU every week. They're always underdog. They've won in a lot of these spots, but I don't think they beat Utah. It's a rivalry game. Utah is the better team. They have the much better quarterback, and I think their offense is going to stun BYU enough. And I don't think the BYU offense will be able to do much against that Utah defense. And then Oregon versus Rutgers. Oregon bounce back spot. If you lose to Rutgers, I mean, that would be an all-time, and I get it. Like, sometimes you do have everybody's betting on the bounce back and things go south a little bit. They're not losing to Rutgers. If they lose to Rutgers, I'd be pretty shocked. And I think the value to get us to plus 241 is too good to pass on.
Excellent. I'm on a college prop, 3 legs. Pretty simple. UNC going all the way out to Cal. Cal's the better team.
I like that a lot.
Like, those kids, 6 hours on the plane to read all the stories about how horseshit Bill Belichick is. Like, I mean, you're going to tell me morale's going to be real good? Like, they're going to travel well? Like, nobody from the East to West has really traveled well since they started expanding these conferences like this. I don't think this team under duress is going to do it. And we're taking it down under a touchdown. Look, I know Nebraska's ranked now. Quarterback just threw 3 picks and should have lost in college.
They're frauds.
Like, yeah, they've got a really good secondary, but you can run on them. I think Fleck's doing some of his best work at Minnesota. I think Minnesota's live to win this game.
I'm with you.
I think they're real live to win this game. But for the purposes of this prop, you got to beat me by 3 scores. And and you know what? Like, if that happens, then Matt Rule, you do belong in the top 25. I don't think it's happening.
Yeah.
And then Miami against Louisville. I think they're the better team. I think there's a really nice path out there for Miami, and we're taking that down under a touchdown. So for plus 200, that's where we are. Beltway Ben, show the people why we're wearing freaking bibs for 2 days in a row. Blam, 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 blam. That doesn't, we don't have room for the Italy same game parlay, Italy -1 and Italy half full. We don't even have the 3-legger up there. England -2, Italy -1, Turkey on the money line.
Bijan Robinson is supposed to say that.
That's all right.
Yeah, that was where the parlay was.
Oh, wait, Ben, it's all good. It's all good. We gave out 4 bets, 3 of them at plus money and 1 at -110 in World Cup qualifying, and they all crushed. That's after crushing World Cup qualifying the day before that, and after crushing World Cup qualifying over the weekend. And Beltway Ben killed the MLB. I gave out the M's. I'm sorry, the Brewers on the money line. Didn't hit. My last chance to ride the Brewers at home. After all the money they made us this year, I was willing to back them one more time. So this is Wanna Bet. That's what we do. All our bets in real time on the Super Discord. We've been killing NFL primetime windows. We got one of those coming up tomorrow. We'll be excited to jump on that. We've got EPL and Die Bundesliga starting back up. I'm going to have plays for you guys to get on early before those odds change. You want to bet, we want to bet. Thank you for wanting to bet with us. We'll see you tomorrow, regular time at noon.